hope you mess this up.
Welcome to the Cardinals Squad Show, and it's Benjamin Garcia, host of the Ben Garcia Show and Locked On Phoenix Suns. Well, let's just put it like it is. Kyler Murray's soft benching might just turn into a soft turning of the page. No activation of his practice window. Is it the right move? We'll talk about it.
I'm Jamil Douglas, former NFL offensive lineman. Todd Bowles came out post-game and said that they had a tip on what the Cardinals were running. Is Drew Petzing's offense a little bit too predictable? We'll talk about it.
Alex Clancy, Locked On Cardinals. The Cardinals still have 5 games. What are some things to take away as we look ahead towards the Rams? Let's get it, baby.
Rise up, Red Sea. It's the Cardinals Squad. Everything Arizona Cardinals every week. Covering all the big hits and game-changing plays from the Valley of the Sun. The way only the Locked On Podcast Network can. Gear up and squad up. The Cardinals Squad Show starts now.
Welcome into the Cardinals Squad Show. Wherever you may be listening, however you may be listening, thank you so much for making myself and these guys and this show a part of your day. Don't forget, Locked On Cardinals Squad Show is free and available on all platforms, including YouTube. So click that follow or subscribe button to get locked on to the Arizona Cardinals and the Arizona Cardinals Squad Show. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers, you can right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets. But if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. Listen, we're going to get into the show. We're going to get into all things Arizona Cardinals related. Kyler Murray still not activated. Drew Petzing maybe a little too predictable. A date with the Rams at home this weekend. But how are we doing, guys? Hey, Jamil, your first season covering the Cardinals. We're 14 weeks in. Clancy, I kind of already know what he might say, but like, is this what you expected and more?
No, but hey, I was always taught knees bent, head on a swivel. That's been something that has been told to me since I started my career. So here we go.
That was kind of a Benism for something that makes zero rational sense. Like if you're doing that knees bent, heads on a swivel, the Arizona Cardinals are a wooden mallet to the back of your head that you don't see.
Well, funny enough,
be prepared as you want to be. Ain't no way you're going to be prepared enough for the wrenches get thrown at your face like dodgeball with this damn organization.
So it is Benism. Funny enough, the coach that used to tell me that the most, I actually hated him. So it all meshes together, I guess.
Nailed it.
It's just traumatizing.
But dude, like getting into the Kyler Murray IR thing, like first of all, if he's injured, he's injured. That's what it is. Like Jamil, I asked this 3 weeks ago. I believe it was either 2 or 3 weeks ago. This is kind of the silly season of, well, players on bad teams. Anthony Davis on the New Orleans Pelicans was a lot more injured than he was when he was with the Lakers right away. It's like, oh, that's interesting.
Sheesh.
Or Bradley Beal couldn't find time to play when he was with Washington. And then, lo and behold, until obviously went haywire with the Suns. But it's like there is that
60
kind
plus
of
games,
unspoken thing. It's like, we're not going to ask. We're not going to tell. It's like, let's just wait another week, and you'll wait another week. And then, it's week 16, and then it's season ending.
Season over.
I think we saw this, 2 weeks ago where it's like, he's probably not going to get activated, you would think. And I'm not saying he's not injured. I'm just saying this doesn't surprise me, but this is the beginning of the actual end.
Do we think he's injured? We know he has an injury.
Yes. Let's not go conspiracy theory here. Like legally speaking, by the bylaws of the NFL, you can't keep an uninjured player on. I think there's
what's outside
medical. Well, but it's a bylaw. That's dodgeball again, dude. That's two.
Love that movie.
I've never seen it.
Let me ask you this, Jamil, because I know that I know that you keep it in house with the doctors with the Cardinals, but when it comes to IR, this isn't like getting an outsider's look, right? This is all in house when it comes to IR and things like that.
When it comes to IR, it's an in-house look in terms of who makes the decision. I'm sure within his camp he's able to get a second opinion and say whether he feels comfortable enough. I think that's coming off of IR, but yeah, typically the teams directly make that decision. What I found interesting is like this was not noted to us as a season-ending injury when it happened. This was something that felt like, Kyler's going to be out sometime, and we'll reevaluate. I think after maybe the bye week or something around that nature. But it was not fed to us as a season-ending injury. So the fact that his window's not being opened with 6 games left is interesting to me.
It's just precarious timing, because it's the perfect time to kind of tell you who you are. And it's, it went from a couple weeks, and then you look at it's 4 to 8 weeks. This turf toe stuff and the variants of it are serious. Ask Brock Purdy, things like that. Like, this is becoming a thing. And I am not by any stretch saying that he is healthy and on IR. I think he actually is injured. I do think if the Cardinals were in playoff contention, he probably would have been activated. Like if it was 4 weeks and Jacoby went 2-2 and they had a really good win percentage before, like, I think tie goes to him being injured and them being bad, not him not being injured. I definitely 100% do not think that's the case.
But for 3 straight weeks, let me be very clear with what I'm saying. I do think Kyler Murray has an injury, but I think he's more now hurt than he is injured, meaning players play all the time. Are you hurt or are you injured? That old, narrative in the NFL where like players play hurt, you can't play injured. I think Kyler is hurt, but for weeks, he was practicing before he got stuck to IR. He was throwing the ball to practice squad players. He was doing all the normal things you would do on the side. Like, it feels like to me, the Cardinals have quietly come to a solution with Kyler Murray's camp that, hey, keep quiet on your end. We'll keep quiet on our end. We'll say it's an injury. We'll say he would absolutely be the starter, but he's not going to be here next season. Let's all just move on from this. Like, isn't that what you guys would be leaning on too? Or is it more just, no, like this Kyler Murray still can't play? I can't buy that, right?
Not everything's conspiratorial. Like, I feel like I understand that there's some nuance to that where it's like, hey, let's just high five and pretend you're injured so you don't have to play. No, that's not how this works. Like, Kyler was making $45 million. If he's healthy, he's playing. And that's what it should be, even though, the product didn't look the same. Jamil, like, it's it's self-incriminating to ask a former NFL player if he knows more about things than maybe meets the eye. So I'm not going to ask that, but it's like, let me ask you this from a unbiased observer. With how things have matriculated over the last 7 or 8 weeks, the Cardinals haven't won a game outside of Dallas since week 2.
Yeah.
Would it lend you to raise an eyebrow like, this doesn't make sense? Or is it like this is one of those unspoken things that it is what it is?
It doesn't make sense to me. Truthfully.
Why not? Tell people why not.
Because like Ben said, we did see him out at practice prior to, this whole thing coming out of him not. At first he was trending towards playing, and then all of a sudden things kind of got put on ice, and there was no more of those conversations around him trending upwards. And so it's interesting because, like I said, if we hadn't seen him at practice and throwing the ball, and I think the week before maybe the Seahawks game or something like that, he was getting a few reps here and there, and then all of a sudden it just seemed like it got pushed under the rug. So unless there was like this big setback in his recovery, which we weren't told, it is a little fishy to me how it's all playing out.
Wait, but Jamil, that's a really good point. Like, that's Adam Schefter tweeted out the day after the Cardinals bye week, which would have been that Tuesday, that Kyler Murray was set to make his return for Monday Night Football against the Dallas Cowboys. And then it was like, whoa. And then I think it was Saturday, that they stuck him on IR. So he was, someone leaked that he was healthy enough to play. We know who that was. Someone in Kyler Murray's camp that said, oh yeah, he's coming back this week. And the Cardinals said not so fast. So we can argue how hurt he actually is, but let's go back to the conversation we had a couple weeks ago. Should they allow Kyler Murray to play? Has it changed now that they can have continued to lose games outside of that one Dallas Cowboys game? Or is it smart that the Cardinals are kind of sticking him on the shelf and going to lie to teams and say, maybe not lie, but, blur the lines a little bit on how injured he actually was and say, no, we just didn't want, it's on us. We misused him. That old, trade deadline narrative in Moneyball years ago. So what do you guys think about that? Should Kyler Murray be playing?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say the same thing. Yeah, I guess he should be. He's getting paid to be a starting quarterback, and he's making a lot of money, and so yeah, I guess he should be playing. That doesn't change my mind in terms of like who gives them the better passing attack and offensive production, but at this point, if you're paying this man $45 million and he's healthy enough to play, I don't know what would keep you from allowing him to play. That's just my confusion.
Yeah, no, that's right. And again, he's probably, I'm not conspiratorial when it comes to injuries. Like I will question a lot of things the Arizona Cardinals do, but people are hurt. They're hurt, man. But, and I've said this, like the thing that made no sense but made sense at the same time, Jacoby Brissett should 100% be starting, but if Kyler Murray's healthy, he's the right choice to start. Just what it is. And now it's easier because the Cardinals are losing all these games. Well, save him because you got to trade him. Save him because the money that kicks in for the insurance. Cool. He's not going to be an Arizona Cardinal next year anyways. So Michael Bidwell is used to paying coaches that aren't coaching anymore. Why not throw in a little insurance money, and then you're going to have to trade him anyways and then he's going to have to pass a physical for the trade to go through. Like, this is window dressing at this point to this season. This is an afterthought. It's what it is. You feel bad for him. This isn't Kyler Murray's fault that he got hurt again. It's going to be onward and upward, but it's precarious. It also is the end.
Now that scenario makes a lot of sense in terms of trading him and him being able to pass a physical with flying colors. That scenario makes a lot of sense from a organization standpoint. The Cardinals, yes, we're at the end. Even if they haven't come out and said Kyler Murray's not our guy, you'd have to think that if he's healthy enough, he will be playing, which this wasn't a season-ending injury. This wasn't something that they seemed so concerned about. And so that scenario makes a lot of sense. Get him healthy enough to where he has a green light on his physical, and we don't have any pressure in terms of moving this guy and moving on.
Okay, so what about this? Clancy did say that if the Cardinals were in playoff contention, he would play, or he thinks he probably would play. Jamil has said you make $45 million a year to play football. If you're healthy enough, you should play. What if, and combining those two things together with you guys both believe that this team is, and I do too, that they are trying to win games. Maybe I might not think it's the best thing for them. If you combine all that stuff together, maybe it tells you that the Cardinals are keeping him on the shelf, because if he was healthy, he'd be sitting behind Jacoby Brissett right now. They just feel better about Jacoby Brissett being the quarterback one over Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Did you buy into that?
I mean, I've kind of voiced that in terms of, I guess I read into it with Jonathan Gannon's comments early on in the season about, them not people questioning the play calling and him saying there's nothing wrong with the play calling. That to me told me everything I needed to know, where he saw they were sufficient or not efficient enough at. So I kind of made my own conclusion, draw my own conclusions on that. And I think they were leaning towards who gives them the better chance to push the ball down the field, stand in a pocket where the O-line's not that good. They know that Kyler takes his eyes from downfield and scrambles out the back of the pocket. They need someone that's going to step up, deliver it, also take hits, just granted where your protection is. And I think that was Jacoby Brissett.
I mean, and on top of that, if you're trying to win games, would you rather have Keaton Slovis back in Jacoby Brissett or a quarterback? So like in that argument, it's the better product on the field is not just 1 to 22, it's 1 to 53, including the backup quarterback. So this is kind of a fool's errand, not the premise, but this isn't any longer blame game. This isn't any longer who's at fault. This isn't any longer who's the better quarterback for the team. This is a matter of, is Kyler Murray healthy enough to play football? And they deemed him not to be. Otherwise, you would lend to think that he would have, that the practice window, irrespective of how embarrassing it is for him, if he wasn't starting, the window would have been opened because there's 5 weeks left in their season, and you got 21 days for the window to be open. So if there was any indication that he was going to play, they would have opened it this week. There's no way they're going to open it in week 16 because then you can just leave it open until the end of the year because it doesn't matter. So this was the sweet spot. You don't want him to play against the Rams. He ain't playing against the Texans in his first week like we talked about last week. This is something where we're not going to see him wear an Arizona Cardinals uniform ever again.
Unless Jacoby, knock on wood,
Yeah,
can't play.
Well, I mean, even at that point, I think you just roll with Keaton Slovis. If Kyler Murray was healthy, he would have been activated this week.
Hey,
you got to throw Keaton Slovis. It's like the Clayton Tune to Cleveland, the Wolves. There's no way that Kyler Murray's playing against Houston. No shot.
Be a tough watch if Slovis is out there, guys.
What if he was out there against the Texans, man?
Even the Rams.
Well, the Rams are great, but that Texans pass rush is insane.
Yeah,
absolutely,
for sure.
Currently carrying them to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Jamil, we just heard from Clancy. Won't see Kyler Murray for the rest of the year. Think we see Kyler at all activated? Anything? You think it's slam shut as well?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think barring anything, unusual at the quarterback position, as far as Jacoby not being able to go for an extended period of time with 5 weeks left, I don't think we see Kyler Murray again. I think he's a Minnesota Viking.
It's a little sad. Oh, Kyler Murray for Kevin O'Connell. Let's just end it there. Let's just do that. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Todd Bowles, being the head honcho over there, said that he recognized some of the Arizona Cardinals' fourth down play calls, and to Drew Petzing, that's fine because he felt still really good about the plays. We'll discuss what the impact of that looks like for the Arizona Cardinals play caller next. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. NFL Sundays move fast, one big play, and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds. Every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. Live betting is best when the game starts to shift. A receiver gets hot, a defense tightens up, or the momentum flips after a turnover. FanDuel lets you jump into the moment. Live spreads and money lines adjust instantly. Player prop updates as guys heat up. You can bet next touchdown scores, drive results, totals, and more. It keeps you locked into every snap, every drive, every possibility. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so do you. So I thought this was interesting, and we talked about it pre-show that we kind of wanted to dive into it. Todd Bowles basically came out and said he recognized especially those final play calls from the Arizona Cardinals that ultimately got shut down by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense. The Cardinals couldn't muster one first down out of that final drive, and Drew Petzing was asked of it, and this was put out by Teo Mackey. JG, this is a question from a reporter. JG has called this league an open book test, and Todd Bowles said after the game, those fourth down looks that they had recognized, those fourth down looks recognize what you guys were doing. Is that something you have to live up with? And how do you combat that when defense's film study is up to par? He said, his answer was, he's not going to tell me exactly what he meant, unfortunately, so I'm not going to get that from him. I got to go back and look and see if there's anything that I think they really took advantage of to negate that. Felt really good about the play call. Thought we had some pretty good angles and good opportunities on both plays. Sometimes we got to make a play, and if it doesn't work, I didn't make the right play call. I think that's always going to be the case. Drew Petzing basically doubling and tripling down on a play call that didn't work out. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers sniffed out. Clancy, I will start with you. What was kind of your reaction to this?
Trey McBride missed the block. I think it was the right play call. Like, this is it. We can't talk about things. We can't have the what the hell is it called? I said it last show. You can't talk about it after knowing what the outcome was. All we've talked about all year is don't run it up the gut with Michael Wilson on 4th and short. And they didn't. Or Michael Carter. Like, I think it was a good play call. It wasn't executed properly. Jamil, how often do opposing defenses know the play and still can't stop it?
Yeah.
Like, it's not an excuse. Like, I think this is getting way blown out of proportion. And again, it's easy for Todd Bowles to say, oh, we knew it. Maybe there were 2 plays that they knew it could be. It's hard to be prepared for both. The Cardinals missed blocks, and Michael Carter didn't get through a tackle.
Yeah.
I think this is getting way, way overblown.
Yeah, I agree. And I watched the 2 plays that they were talking about, the 4th down plays. The one was like a sort of toss crack type of play. Trey McBride is on the guy. He just doesn't finish. Those little things turn into a guy being right there at the first down marker and stuff. At the end of the day, yes, you could have a tip. Everyone plays into tendencies and what the analytics say. If they're in a YY wing, which they were, they had 2 tight ends attached to the line. Typically, that's toss crack. Like, those are just things that every defensive coordinator and everybody that pays attention to analytics would know. And so, yeah, you could say we knew the play. The 4th and 2 to end the game to Michael Wilson, I thought personally, after rewatching it, the play is fine. Michael Wilson drifts to the defender. If he just stops and sets up in the middle of the 2 defenders that are, playing the sticks, Jacoby can put it right on them. You move the chains right there. So it's those little things, man, in my opinion, like that goes down to coaching as well, and who knows if they're coaching that, but you got to be a stickler. Like I said, you have to be a stickler on those type of things that in the moments where we used to call them gotta have it. Those are the gotta have it moments, and coaches kind of overemphasize those things throughout the week because they can cost you a game.
That's right.
So why are people so pissed off about it? Is it just the Cardinals keep this is just the same. I don't know why this is why I'm so confused. I don't understand why people are so pissed off because this is the same press conference every week.
Because
he's
people
say the same thing.
Because people think that you in the NFL you can trick somebody, and the reality of it is you can't trick someone. Like, yeah, you may get a Philly special every now and then that works out. You can't line up and trick these guys, right? Like, it comes down to, we always hear it, it's a game of inches. Trey McBride, if he pushes that guy for 2 more inches, who knows? He's not at the first down marker. Michael Wilson sets up literally 6 inches to the left. That ball is right on him. You move the chains. And so people are pissed because they think you can't just call a basic play in those things like, oh, you got to call something better. No, football is football at the end of the day. The guys got to execute, and you got to coach it to the level that, when you're in those gotta have it moments, that the players come through for you.
Yeah, and I think the triggering aspect of this is the Cardinals haven't been able to adjust all year at halftime. Like, once they get figured out, they get figured out, and that's it. That's been an ongoing theme with this coaching staff over the last couple of years. Obviously, you give the 2023 a pass, but the last couple of years, it's what it's been, especially after the bye last year. And then 1-score games are about adjustments. That's the main coaching element of it, especially at halftime. So this was a massive overcorrection from the deep ball to Xavier Weaver last week on 4th and short to just get it to the sticks, which is much easier to defend and scheme for when you've got 9 dudes inside of 3 yards of the line of scrimmage. So it's like this is all recency bias stuff. Nobody can be pissed about Kyler Murray, Jacoby Brissett anymore, so they're shifting things to other things. The Cardinals are losing games because they're a bad team when it matters, when adjustments need to be made on the fly. So this is just another element of that, another example of that. But this shouldn't make you pissed off any more than anything else. Missing a field goal or not converting on first downs late in the first half where you had some momentum. So it's just things at the end of the game get overblown, but if you do things right for the first 55 minutes, you ain't got to come down to one score and needing, a 4th and short when you run 2 dump downs on the first 2 plays of the drive.
Can I say something that I think we're all, in agreement of?
How dare you?
Is I don't think Drew Petzing is like maybe not even the second biggest thing wrong with this team this year. And I'm starting to get a little pissed off with just trying to scapegoat Drew Petzing when I think both of you guys made really good points. I might not have loved the play calls, but I also didn't play in the NFL. I get the vision with the Michael Wilson thing. I don't love running it with Bam Knight on 4th and 1, but regardless, I get what you're saying. It feels like there is a little bit, not even a little bit, like a decent amount of player blame for all this. And to be honest with you, I didn't think the offense was terrible on Sunday. And I'm kind of getting annoyed with acting like the offense is just awful every single week. And it almost feels a little lazy to just blame everything on Petzing.
I mean, I think welcome to the side that Jamil and I were talking about the last couple of weeks. It's like, this is, and I didn't say that sarcastically. It's like, sometimes people come to realizations where it's like, it took me a while. And it's like, everybody's saying fire Petzing. Everybody's saying fire Gannon. Well, let's take a look. They're not scoring points early in games. Okay. That's true. That's on offense. That's on players. That's on coaching. You can't blame just the offensive line for that, who only gave up 2 sacks. Isaiah Adams had his best game of the year. Okay. And also, what Drew Petzing has done since Jacoby Brissett has taken over would take a blind and deaf person to not understand the meteoric shift in production on offense.
Yeah.
Like it's glaring. Well, they're still losing. Of course they are. Okay, that's not what we're talking about here. The product on offense is exponentially better with Jacoby Brissett than it has been with Kyler Murray. Right? I think and this isn't a knock on Kyler Murray. This is a fit thing. Well, Drew Petzing didn't run the scheme for Kyler Murray. Oh, he tried to. You just can't throw deep crossing routes with a quarterback who's 5'9". You can't do it.
Yeah.
And it's not a good thing or a bad thing. But that's where I've been imploring people, if Drew Petzing comes back next year, chill. Like, chill. It's not that it could be worse, and that's the only reason to bring him back. It's that I think he's shown 1% more good than bad since Jacoby Brissett's taken over. Do you guys are we too close to this?
I
know
afraid
everybody
to
hates
say
Drew
it.
Petzing and he's a scapegoat, but I mean,
I'm going to be honest with you.
Jamil's like, this offense is better.
Yeah.
What do you want?
Yeah, Clancy, I'm going to be honest with you. I think there is some creativity that is missing from this offense,
sure.
which I believe happens when your right tackle sucks. Sorry, when your right tackle is not very good. Sorry, Jamil. And when your running backs are borderline UFL guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think it's 50.001%. I think it's more like 60-40% that I think the offense, if the defense was fully healthy, I think this is an above 500 team, or at least a 500 team. Because I've seen the defense continuously hold good teams to not great scoring outings, and I've seen the offense do enough. And I don't think Jacoby Brissett's statistics on Sunday were empty calories. I'm not in favor. I'm at the point where fire Drew Petzing or don't. I don't care. I think it's the same thing with Kyler. I think you can do better, but I also think you can do worse. Jamil?
Yeah, I mean, like Clancy said, I've been saying this since the start of this whole quarterback debacle. I just feel like, yes, offense lacks creativity. That being said, the offense has the passing attack has been much more prevalent with Jacoby in there. I don't think it's a Drew Petzing thing. I do think it is a personnel thing. I think that you don't have the personnel to, like I said in training camp, finish games on your own terms. You don't have the personnel to pick up a 4th and 1 consistently by running the ball. And so that being said, I think Drew Petzing is going to be back next year. I also think
that's bold, though. You think for sure he's getting because I get the positivity.
Dude, I think he's back.
That we've got a little bit, but you think he for sure will be back? Not to put your name on it and make fun of you if you're wrong, but like,
no.
He'll be back from what you've seen.
Yeah, I mean, they're averaging just, I think, 23 points a game, 23 points a game, and they're giving up 25 points a game. Like, they are in these games
within KPI.
Yeah, like,
world.
Yeah, like they're in these games, and unfortunately, they've been dealt some really terrible situations and getting down early. I think, obviously, if Jonathan Gannon's not back, Drew Petzing not back, right? But I think Drew Petzing's going to be there, and I also think that a full training camp with Jacoby under center, if that is the route that they're going to take, I think you see a better product on the field, a more wins on the field.
Well, like, again,
and hold on, because Clancy said that this is not a knock on Kyler at all. It is purely fit.
It's circumstantial.
Yes, I think Jacoby is just a better fit for what this offense asks out of the quarterback, and that's what I'm basing my decision based off of.
And that's without a run game. Like, if they had a run game, we may be having different conversations. This volume play for Jacoby Brissett needs to happen with a guy who can huck it without a run game. If James Conner was healthy, we may be having a completely different conversation. Kyler Murray may be already playing, but it's circumstantial.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not even just the running game or the right tackle. Like, Marv has missed games. Zay Jones had an Achilles tear. Like, they are missing guys left and right. But with that being said, Clancy's got something in store for us in the next segment. I literally have no idea what it even is. We're calling an audible, Jacoby Brissett, Drew Petzing style, and let's do that next. Today's episode is brought to you by Aura Frames. The holidays are officially here, which means gift hunting season is on. If you want something meaningful, personal, guaranteed to get a reaction, Aura Frames is the gift that delivers every time. It's not just something you wrap. It's a way to share memories, because Aura isn't your average picture frame. You can preload the frame with photos before gifting it, so when they plug it in, the memories are already there. No apps to figure out, no setup headaches, just instant smiles. It comes packaged, gift ready, no price tags, no wrapping needed. It's a huge walking W. It's a holiday gift that actually gets used, not forgotten in a drawer. For a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames, named #1 by Wirecutter by using promo code Locked On at checkout. That's auraframes.com, promo code Locked On. This deal is exclusive to listeners, and frames sell out fast. So order yours now to get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. Oh, I thought you were just going to take it from there, Clancy. This is your segment. I just was going to let you hijack it.
All right, cool. Crossover Thursday. Thanks for hanging out. Crossover. Cardinals Quattro. So really quick, Musty Mudbone. If Drew Petzing comes back, it'll be the worst move ever made in the NFL history. Drew Petzing is the worst OC ever in the entire history of the NFL. Redundancy aside, I disagree. The Cardinals were a top 5, top 7 run team in each of his first 2 years. They didn't have anybody healthy this year. That's why I'm saying let's just chill for a second. Let's just chill for a second and see how things pan out. Not saying he's going to come back. Not saying he should. This is the impetus for this, and I did this on my show today. I was texting with Ben Albright a couple of days ago. Him and I have become friends over the years. He tweeted this out. It's very interesting, and Jamil, you can attest to this because you've lived it. The matriculation or the evolution of a new coaching staff that takes a team from bad to good goes from losing games by a lot, then losing games by a little, then winning games by a little, then winning games by a lot. That's a natural progression of a bad team that turns into a good team through free agency, draft, good coaching, all that stuff. And it made me think, okay, year one, Kyler was out the first half of the year was lost. Josh Dobbs was the quarterback, and he had been with the team for less than 2 weeks before he started in Washington against the Commanders. Yeah. That's year one, lost. Last year, they won more games than they should have, close. They had 4 fourth-quarter comebacks in a row, I think, before their bye week, and then everything fell off. But that would have been the first full year of Kyler Murray where you lose big, and they lost big a lot down the stretch. This year, if that's the timeline, you're throwing out 2023, this is the lose by a little year. And that's exactly what we're seeing. They're losing every game by less than a score outside of the 2 blowouts. So does this show that the progression is actually where it's supposed to be, but the first year was a throwaway? That this is the year where you lose by a little and next year is when everything clicks? Like, we're seeing it in Denver. Obviously, the quarterback changed with Russell Wilson. It took to year 3 for them to be moving. They made the playoffs last year, but they got blown out by Buffalo. And it's like Drake May, it's year 2, but this is really year 2. Like, I'm not saying it is, but it made my brain melt.
It depends. They lost
every game by a little outside of those 2 blowouts.
It depends on if you look at things with a glass half full or glass half empty mentality. Patriots, Broncos.
Maybe not Patriots because they're well beyond. 2
really good examples. What they both did was bolster their offensive line. And so that there alone put them over the hump. Obviously, new coaches as well, but you had to address up front in order to kind of put yourself in a position to withstand what the season brings.
And the Bears too.
The Bears too really bolstered their offensive line. Yeah. And so and you have depth too. So if someone goes down, you got someone that can plug and play. And so I would like to think that, yes, that is the trend. You win, you lose these close games because you are really close, but also that can be fool's gold because that can make you think that you don't have to address an issue 100%. That you have, which is your offensive line. Now, if we get into the offseason and there's free agent acquisitions on the offensive line and you draft offensive line, that tells me that you know exactly what will put you over the hump, just given how all these other teams went about their business. So, yeah, I guess it's based on how you look. Glass half full, glass half empty.
Yeah, and just for the comments, like, I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm saying that if you adjust for Kyler Murray's timeline being healthy, that's this. And I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying it's an interesting.
It is interesting. It is interesting.
If that's what it is.
Yeah, it is interesting.
I think that makes a lot more sense if we're not talking about some of the coaching stuff, like the setting a record for penalties just a couple of weeks ago. We're talking about the Isaiah Weaver play call that, has got everyone up in arms, maybe not Sunday's play calls. It just feels like,
well, truth be told, if Zay Jones isn't hurt, I would like to think that's Zay Jones running that route.
I think that maybe I'm overestimating this roster. I think this roster is really, really freaking good. I think they've got dudes everywhere, and they've come up short of expectations by not just by a little, by a lot, and they're losing games in the weirdest, worst ways possible. And I just wonder if they're actually going to make that next step next year. And also, like with Clancy, with Clancy saying that, like, I would think you would do that with some stability at the quarterback position. I don't know if they have that in Jacoby Brissett, who has been fine, but 10 years of data tells you he's a really good backup quarterback. And I don't know if you can take that into next season and think that it's just going to take that next leap when that's probably not what it is. I don't know, man. Yeah, I see it. Maybe it's because where we're at, but I see it as a glass half empty.
Yeah, and and I get it. And both sides can have an argument made full of smoke blown up rear ends and actual, proof. Like the entire Cardinals roster hasn't been healthy all year. Like, why are other organizations able to do it? I don't know. There's something in the water. There's poison in the water. But the differentiator between, and Jamil, you've been on dysfunction where, you didn't have to pay state income tax with that team. We're not going to talk about the colors or if your jersey's hanging up in the back. My words, not yours. Or with the Patriots, regardless of win-loss, stability there. Buffalo, when you were there, were pivoting towards stability. Like, the Cardinals' dysfunction is in its play, not in its leadership. It's dysfunction in its play calling, and losing games, not in its leadership and culture, which is what it's been forever. So I know that is the biggest green ribbon, here's your participation trophy thing to give in a 3-9 season. But I've been around this team for so long, and it's been so much worse than it is now if you take away the win-loss record. So that's why I struggle to see it not as glass half full, like 1% of the time and not 0. I don't know, man. It's just
when you
how
combine,
long can you make excuses for people? That's what I get a
Clancy,
lot, and I understand that too.
When you combine what you're saying to Darius Robinson, damn near in tears, saying it's on us, like it sucks, and then Michael Wilson last week taking full accountability for spinning the ball, which again, like it didn't really change much, and then saying we are not coached that. Like he made a point to say that.
That's right.
I might say how much I like the roster, but clearly, and you guys have said before, what if Trey McBride makes a block? What if Michael Wilson runs 6 inches the other direction? And I agree with Clancy. Like, I can't attest to being around this for a long time, but I've been watching them from afar from a really long time. And this does feel the most stable and most accountable. And it's why I haven't said fire Jonathan Gannon. It's why even if they lose every game for the rest of the year, I'm like, I don't know, which has made it all, again, it's either side of it. I could see people seeing it from one lens and I could see people seeing it from the other lens. But what I think is really lazy is just being like, fire the coach. We've already done that so many times. It's clearly not just the coach. Jamil?
Yeah, I mean, fire the coach. To me, it's like, who you gonna go get? There's coaches out there that are looking for someone who already has a quarterback, who has they don't have to do a ton of kind of fixing things like that. So I did find it really interesting that everyone's kind of coming out and saying, and not that I think Jonathan Gannon's a bad leader or anything, but they've been adamant about voicing it's not the coaching and he's a great leader and we're coached a certain way. And so I don't know, man. It's glass half full, I guess, if I have to pick. I don't know,
Yeah. I mean, and again, like we're going to be talking about like this in circles for the rest of the year, which is, unfortunate, but this is kind of where we're at. And unfortunately, the only way we're going to be able to determine one way or another is watching more games and seeing more data. Like that's really it. Mm-hmm. And it sucks, but the problem is the season's over and it doesn't people like truly these conversations in the grand scheme of things, the content is great. It doesn't matter because we don't know what the end result's going to be yet. So you're gonna have to see if it's 3-14. I find it hard to believe that you're bringing Drew Petzing back. Like, I don't know.
Someone said Rams offensive coordinator. Yeah. That is Sean McVay.
So for the audio audience, we obviously have a running comment section here. And when Jamil said, who are you going to do better, which is something that we've all been echoing all year, is we had our guy Javi in the chat say, here are some guys that are better. Rams OC, who is just Sean McVay. Mike McCarthy, who is interesting. Bills OC. I always think it's funny. Again, this is not on Javi, but I always think it's funny when people are like, Bills OC. It's like, do you even know who that is? Do you even know who that is? And then here's the other one, John Gruden, who continuously gets thrown out there. And I don't know what the fascination is with some Cardinals fans and John Gruden, but I mean, I guess I just don't get it, man. What about Jamil? What about I might get in trouble. What about Joe Philbin? He could be a good addition to the Cardinals coaching staff.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, guys. When it comes down to all of this, there's so many different. Again, we speak English in 38 different Cockney ways, and we're having the same conversation just a bunch of different ways. So when it comes down to this, the reason I want to do this segment as an exercise is like Jonathan Gannon hasn't been a great head coach for a good chunk of the time he's been here. I feel like this is the year where he's getting smacked in the face with a bunch of scenarios he's never been in, and he's failing miserably that he'll learn from. So that's the whole thing where it's like you lose small and then you win small. That's the adjustments necessary. Now, that could be Drew Petzing. It could be the play calling. It could be, the players. It could be people not being healthy. We have no idea. But there's so much more that meets the eye than just fire everybody and figure it out after. And that's why we try to challenge you to think a little bit more than just do something. Okay, then what next?
Yeah. It's always fun to do something. It's always hard for someone to answer for everyone. Okay, cool. You fired him. Now what are you going to do? It's why I held on for Kyler Murray for so long. You want to get rid of Kyler Murray? What next? Well, I think I'm just ready to try something new because it's year 7. With Jonathan Gannon, it's been the first time we've had some actual stability and accountability. I don't think players are saying the same thing that they've been saying. Michael Wilson taking accountability. Darius Robinson damn near in tears saying it's on us. Where I think before, players might be doing that with Cliff Kingsbury. He didn't run a tight ship. But with that being said, the Cardinals do have a game this Sunday at home against the Los Angeles Rams, a team that the Arizona Cardinals, all NFC West opponents that they've had trouble with. And we're going to break that game down. We're going to talk about it next. Closing out the show. Guys, I'm going to be really honest with you. I don't feel great about this game coming up on Sunday.
Why?
Because the Rams just got slammed down. Well, one of the reasons, I guess that was kind of stupid because the Rams are obviously very good. But the Rams were flying high there for a couple of weeks. And then they got into a rainstorm, and the Bryce Young-led Panthers kind of smacked them down back to reality a little bit. We know this Rams team is already good. A pissed off Rams team against an inferior Cardinals opponent. I think we might be talking about a potential blowout that we've already seen twice against NFC West opponents. Clancy, what are you looking for in this game?
Yeah, not great, Bob. This is fantastic.
Hashtag analysis.
Yeah, hashtag analysis in the show. Well, make you feel better about Carolina win. I guess, but that was,
that's glass half full, Clancy.
That was years ago. The Rams defense has been a lot leakier than it was earlier in the season. San Francisco, I know it was late, but San Francisco came back in that game that was a blowout early. Like, what the Rams are doing at this point is they're scoring a bunch of points early and holding on. Now, there were a couple huge touchdown, there were a couple broken plays. One was a Chuba Hubbard swing pass that he housed from 40. Ted McMillan got behind the defender last week. But by and large, these next 2 weeks could result in 18 sacks on Jacoby Brissett. This isn't something that's Byron Young, Jared Verse, Braden Fisk. These guys are not bunnies, man. What we saw with Tampa Bay and then San Francisco, those are two of the lesser than pass rush groups in the league, and the Cardinals held up against that. This is going to be problematic. This is going to be the foyer into the auditorium that is the Houston Texans the week after, which could be a house of pain. So what you hope for Sunday is they can keep it tight, which they have the majority of the season outside of those 2 divisional games after the bye, and keep Jacoby Brissett protected. Those are really the only things that I'm looking at for, long-standing things. And you hope that Trey and, Marv and Michael Wilson still get to eat.
What's your score prediction?
Some points and some other points.
Listen,
I think these points, the Cardinals can score points against them. They can. You just need to be able
to protect.
Sorry again?
Protect.
Yeah, you just got to be able to protect. And I think that this is on Drew Petzing to scheme something up where you've always got a short out route. And it just sucks that Bam Knight's not the best pass catcher of the football. You don't have, but it's got to be, you got to be able to have a short outlet for Jacoby Brissett to get the ball out.
Mm-hmm.
So score prediction, Cardinals aren't going to win. I don't care about the prediction.
So what about this? So what about this, Clancy? You said the Cardinals can score points on this team.
Yes.
Didn't we also think that with the 49ers game?
Man, they scored points. It was just what the game
was. Okay. Well, the point is the Niners had, again, and the NFL is weird. Not every week is the same. That's why it's called Any Given Sunday. The Panthers probably shouldn't have beaten the Rams, but they did.
Yeah.
However, the Niners pass rush is not as good as the Rams pass rush. Jared Verse coming off the edge isn't going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, their corners, I would agree with you, aren't the best. A.J. Brown feasted on them as the first team he did feast on earlier in the season. When they're not very physical, so maybe this is a Marv game to show some dominance. But I'll tell you what, man, one of the things that really concerns me is like we just got done talking about like Jonathan Gannon, accountability, all these things. What if they get blown out for a third time? Because I would assume we're all thinking they're probably not going to win. What if they get blown out a third time against an NFC West opponent? And then we're really talking about, damn, man, how far away are they in the NFC West?
Yeah, every week the conversation has the possibility to go south. I think this is the worst time to be playing the Rams.
I think that's right.
If I'm being honest,
of you.
yes, this is the worst time to like. You almost rather them beat Carolina and then come play you, or like this is. The Rams are a team that, and just off of my experience in coaching with them for a little bit of time, like the Rams bounce back. That is just what they do. Sean McVay is one of the better coaches, one of the best coaches, but in terms of motivating his team and being honest with his team about where they're at, we don't see Matt Stafford throw 3 picks every Sunday.
That's right.
That doesn't happen. I don't expect them to be loose with the football this time around. I expect them to be overly secure with the football. Mm-hmm. And this is bad timing. It's bad timing. I'm going to say, obviously, the Rams are going to win this game by 17 or so.
That's a blowout. That's a blowout.
35-17.
Do you think the game's close? Do you think the Cardinals keep it close in the beginning and the Rams pull away late?
It don't matter. If it's close in the beginning, it'll be 0-0. And then it'll go 35-17. Okay.
Well, we'll see. I mean, because Jamil's right. Like it with the whole thing about the defense and us giving the defense a pass for the first. Now, like you've given the defense a pass for the majority of the season outside of the Seattle game, but the Seattle game, there were 2 scooping scores and the game's over. Like you're down 14-0 before you know what your name is. San Francisco, they ran the ball back 98 yards. Christian McCaffrey walks into the end zone. You're down 7-0 before you know what your name is. Like it's exterior factors that have not set the defense up for success. And also the offense, as of late, hasn't really done a whole lot early outside of against Dallas. Like there are good drives that end in punts or that end in 4th down, ends in missed field goals early on. And then, the other team just starts to hammer away and starts to drain. So yeah, you're right. Like if I'm the Cardinals, I'm taking the ball if you win the toss and just go. Quite literally, you have nothing to lose. So just go. But
yeah,
dude, if he can't get the ball off, it's gonna. People don't understand how good Jared Verse is.
And BY as well. Byron
Young. Yeah.
He's one of the top guys in sacks. And then Fisk also had a game last week. They're the interior D tackle. So they're going to be tested on the edges as well as the interior. And this is when you hope that you could establish a run game, but I don't know, man. We're going to have to see how they come out.
So 2 things that I'm looking for in this game. One, we should, I don't know why we wouldn't, but it's been a little bit of a question over the last couple weeks. If we get Will Johnson, Garrett Williams for back-to-back weeks, I'm curious to know how much Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua struggle, meaning we know that they're going to do well, but how much do they have to work for it in this game? So that's the one thing I want to see from that side. I want to see them go up against, they're going to be on an island with each of those 2 guys. Devontae Adams has been one of the steal of the off seasons. If Josh Sweat is up there, Devontae Adams is up there as well, probably ahead of him. And then the other thing, like I mentioned before, I think this Rams secondary is a bit soft, not very physical. I want to see if Marvin Harrison Jr., who has been catching the ball and has been getting some things schemed up for him, but I want to see him have a big game, like live up. He has still not had a 100-yard game since week 8 of last season. Again, nothing to lose. If we got to stat pad a little bit, let's stat pad a little bit. I want to see 12 targets, 8 receptions, 100 yards, and a touchdown from Marvin Harrison Jr. Like at some point, we can't be dancing around it. I just want to see it. You guys have things you're looking for in this game? So that's what it's come down to. Looking at players and saying, oh, that'll be good next year.
He had 7 for 96 and a touchdown against Dallas. So I mean, he did have
not 100 yards,
but who cares?
I care. I care.
Okay. So that extra 4 yards, I'll give you. Yes. I'll give you the extra. I'll send that to you in the mail. It doesn't matter. Like he had 6 for 69 last week. He left the game early. I agree though, but I think to your point, I'm going to change my main focus of this game. It's to the secondary because you're going to have to hammer home what you absolutely know to be true going into 2026. This is going to be the second toughest test for the Cardinals secondary outside of being tied with week 18 against the Rams again. And then Cincinnati, you expect T. Higgins and Jamar Chase to be fully healthy in week 17. Like if Will Johnson and Garrett Williams are your dudes, we're going to see some sort of figment of it on Sunday. So I think that's even more important than protecting Jacoby Brissett, even though you don't want him to get sacked. Like, you want to know what you got moving forward because that's going to, that's going to be the roadmap for, draft picks and free agency and everything else. The offensive line needs help. You want to see if kid number 0 can hold his own against, first ballot Hall of Famer and what's probably going to be another one.
Yeah, it's going to be a matchup for sure.
Yeah.
Is Marv? What is his injury designation right now? I know that
he's just got appendicitis. The heel. I forgot about that. That's right.
Yeah. So
I totally forgot about his heel.
If they go into this game marvelous, it's gonna be tough in terms of obviously you got Trey McBride and Michael Wilson, which are more than capable of carrying the pass game, but obviously you want Marv out there as well. So we'll have to see how that fares throughout the week. But, typically I say this is a game the Cardinals can win. I'm not saying that this week, guys. Yep. That's it. That's all I got for you.
Which means that's when they're gonna win because that's what makes sense. Hey,
no. They're gonna wait. They're gonna wait because I'm gonna tell you this 2 weeks before it happens.
Oh God, I know what he's gonna say. Golly.
They're gonna play Atlanta. They're gonna beat Atlanta, and then everybody's gonna forget for a second that the Rams have Atlanta's first round pick next year. So that's gonna leapfrog the Cardinals, where the Rams are gonna pick ahead of the Cardinals instead of behind them in a game that the Cardinals beat Atlanta. So
it's in the script.
Icing on the cake. It's in the script.
Yeah.
Anyways,
and on top of that, for those who don't know, when a bunch of teams have the same record, who gets the higher pick, you would think it's the team with the more difficult schedule, when in fact it's the team with the easier schedule, because that means that team is worse, which means they deserve a higher draft pick. So not only are the Cardinals going to get screwed in that sense, or they have the second toughest schedule this season, there's a bunch of teams that are going to be tied with the same amount of wins, and the Cardinals are going to be at the bottom because they have the toughest schedule.
That's right.
Ideal. Fantastic.
Glass half full.
Hey.
Glass half shattered.
That's right.
Hey, as we kind of laugh a little bit, you either learn to laugh or you cry. Cardinals head coach said on Marvin Harrison Jr., he will see a doctor soon following his apparent heel injury during Sunday's game. Listen to this quote. Marvin Harrison Jr. is running great, but when he walks or jogs, it doesn't look great.
Well, you just have the guy running around all day. Then, hey.
So that could be it. Is there a world where we're going to see him put on IR?
Oh my God, dude.
Like the last thing you want, and Jamil, again, you've played in many late seasons. It's like, this is the time of territory where it's like, okay, if there's a serious injury, you could miss a month or 2 months of next season.
Yeah.
Like, this is that scary time where it's like, we joke about, Kyler Murray, he's hurt, but is he injured? All those things. It's like, this is serious. You're getting into next year territory if there's a serious injury.
It is serious. And I do think it's something to monitor because a heel injury for a receiver is something that can sideline you for a long period of time. So, yes, he finished the game and he looks good when he runs, but there's no telling, when you get in the game mode, what that thing feels like. So it'll be interesting to see if he does play. I mean, there's a possibility he won't play.
I hope you guys got Michael Wilson fantasy football, not in your all offensive lineman fantasy football league.
I have Michael Wilson. I had Zay Jones.
You're new to
Oh,
the game,
all
though.
right.
It's okay. It's all right,
Yeah.
Pumpkin. You'll learn. You're
Yeah.
not legally able to play, so it's great. If you need any coaching,
It's
let me
only
know.
my second year participating.
I'm just a little upset I didn't get into your guys' dodgeball references at the beginning of the
You
show.
need to go
That's
watch
a
a
problem.
movie.
Well,
That's a problem.
I've got to graduate from PG rated movies.
You're about as
first,
useful as
guys.
a poopy flavored lollipop. That's perfect. That's a
Seriously.
trifecta, and that's
Seriously.
actually true. Perfect.
Seriously.
Watch it tonight with your wife.
Oh man.
I
Good laugh.
got things I have to do, guys.
Crochet.
Okay.
Like, what do married couples do?
Who knows what Ben does? I don't know what Ben does. I don't want to know what Ben does.
That's true. End the show. Please end the
Yeah.
show.
I love this show. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to to the Cardinals Squad show for our guys William, Javi, Musty Mudbone, who wasn't thrilled us in the beginning, but then told us he loved us, and we had to tell him that we loved him back. My guy Lance in the chat. For all you guys being here, we appreciate you guys doing so. Reminder, Clancy will be live directly after the game on Sunday. He'll go about 15, 20 minutes. Then he will join us, and we will break down this game in its entirety for a full hour, and we'll see you guys then after the game. But until then, hit that like, share, subscribe button. Follow us all on social media. Appreciate you guys tuning in. It's been the Cardinal Squad Show. We will talk to you guys post-game on